HOA tried to demolish my bunker, then learned it was licensed by Homeland Security. What would you do if your neighborhood's petty tyrants tried to tear down your private sanctuary, only to discover it was backed by the full might of the federal government? In the quiet suburban sprawl of Willow Creek, where manicured lawns and cookie-cutter houses reigned supreme, Marcus Reed was the odd man out. His modest ranch-style home didn't stand out much, but beneath his backyard lay a secret that would shake the community to its core. A fully equipped, 10 by 30-foot underground bunker, built to withstand a nuclear fallout. Marcus, a retired engineer with a knack for preparation, had spent years designing it not just as a shelter, but as a legacy of security for his family. He'd secured every permit, crossed every T, and even obtained a rare license from the Department of Homeland Security for its construction, citing its compliance with national security standards for private shelters. But the Willow Creek Homeowners Association, HOA, had other plans. It started with a nosy neighbor, Karen Whitaker, the HOA's self-appointed enforcer. Karen, with her clipboard and perpetually pursed lips, had a reputation for sniffing out violations like a bloodhound. One spring morning, while inspecting the neighborhood, she noticed a subtle irregularity in Marcus's backyard, a slightly raised patch of earth near his garden shed. Suspicious, she reported it to the HOA board, claiming it was an unauthorized structure that violated the community's strict aesthetic guidelines. The board, led by Karen's husband, Tom, a real estate agent with a penchant for power, didn't hesitate. They issued Marcus a notice: remove the illegal structure within 30 days or face fines and forced demolition. Marcus wasn't one to back down. He responded with a polite letter, explaining that the bunker was a licensed storm shelter, fully permitted by the city and compliant with federal regulations. He even attached copies of the permits, including the Homeland Security license, for good measure. But Karen and Tom dismissed it as a fabrication. They dealt with homeowners before, people who tried to skirt the rules with excuses. A bunker? In our neighborhood? Karen scoffed at the next HOA meeting. He's probably hiding something illegal down there. We can't have that, lowering our property values. The board, swayed by her theatrics, voted unanimously to proceed with demolition, hiring a contractor to rip out the eyesore without further investigation. What they didn't expect was Marcus's quiet resolve. He wasn't just a prepper. He was a man who knew the law. He'd spent years navigating bureaucratic mazes to ensure his bunker was above board. When the HOA's contractor arrived with a backhoe, Marcus was ready. He stood in his backyard, arms crossed, with a thick folder of documents in hand. "You touch that bunker, and you'll be breaking federal law," he warned the contractor, who hesitated, sensing trouble. Marcus handed over the Homeland Security license, which included a stern warning about unauthorized interference with federally approved structures. The contractor, unwilling to risk legal trouble, packed up and left, leaving Karen and Tom fuming. The HOA doubled down. Tom, red-faced and indignant, accused Marcus of forging the documents. They filed a complaint with the city, demanding an investigation. Enter Sarah Gwynn, a young city planner who'd recently moved to Willow Creek. Sarah wasn't part of the HOA's inner circle, and her fresh perspective would prove to be the twist that turned the tide. She reviewed Marcus's permits and was stunned. Not only were they legitimate, but the bunker's approval came with a rare endorsement from Homeland Security, citing its potential use in national emergency scenarios. Sarah dug deeper and discovered that the HOA had a history of overstepping its authority, including a case where they'd foreclosed on a soldier's home over unpaid dues while he was deployed, only to be slapped with a federal lawsuit. Sarah's findings triggered a firestorm. She reported the HOA's actions to the city council, which promptly issued a cease and desist order against the demolition. But Marcus wasn't done. He hired a lawyer, Emily Carter, a fierce advocate known for taking on overzealous HOAs. Emily filed a countersuit against the HOA alleging harassment, abuse of power, and violation of federal law. The courtroom showdown was nothing short of electric. Karen took the stand, her voice dripping with self-righteousness, claiming the bunker was a threat to community standards. Emily dismantled her arguments with surgical precision, presenting the Homeland Security license and expert testimony from a federal agent who confirmed the bunker's strategic importance. The judge, visibly irritated by the HOA's arrogance, didn't hold back. "You thought you could bully a homeowner into submission without verifying his claims? This isn't your personal fiefdom," he snapped. The fallout was swift and brutal. The court ruled in Marcus's favor, ordering the HOA to pay $50,000 in damages for emotional distress and legal fees. Karen and Tom were removed from the board after a community vote, their reputations in tatters. The HOA itself faced a state investigation for violating the Davis-Sterling Act, which governs HOAs in California and prohibits such overreaches. Karen, once the neighborhood's queen bee, became a pariah. Neighbors who'd once cowered under her gaze now whispered about her downfall at block parties. The bunker, meanwhile, stood untouched, a silent testament to Marcus's foresight. But the story didn't end there. Marcus didn't just want justice, he wanted change. Inspired by Sarah's integrity, he ran for the HOA board and won, promising transparency and fairness. He turned the bunker into a community asset, offering it as a training site for local emergency preparedness groups, with Homeland Security's blessing. The neighborhood, once divided by Karen's reign of terror, began to heal, united by a shared respect for resilience and preparation. Marcus's victory wasn't just a personal triumph. It was a beacon for homeowners everywhere. He showed that standing up to petty tyrants, armed with truth and determination, could topple even the most entrenched power structures. His bunker, once a source of conflict, became a symbol of hope, a reminder that preparation and principle could outlast arrogance. What do you think? Was Marcus right to fight the HOA so fiercely, or should he have tried to compromise? Share your thoughts. Where do you stand on the line between personal freedom and community rules?